February, you have a terroristic threat with us of a family or household member, and now you've picked up an evading arrest in a motor vehicle. While you're on bond for this case, you pick up a serious third-degree felony. What happened in a terroristic threat?
There's a threat, Your Honor?
The terroristic threat in our case, please.
In our case, on February 3rd, 2025, an officer responded to a weapons disturbance at a residence in Harrison County, Texas. The officer met with the witness who stated that her granddaughter's boyfriend, the defendant, was upstairs in the house with a gun. The witness stated there were 5 other people in the residence and everyone exited the residence safely except for the defendant. Officer met with the complainant witness who stated she had been dating the defendant for 3 years and broken up with him hours before, and the defendant left the residence. When it was asked the defendant if he wanted to retrieve some items, and the defendant said no. The defendant came back to the residence, and the complaining witness refused to let him in. Short time later, the defendant sent the complaining witness a picture of him inside her vehicle, pointing a handgun at her bedroom window. The complaining witness saw a laser through her bedroom window, which she knew was attached to a handgun that he owned. The defendant threatened to kick her door down and make forced entry into her home. The complaining witness still refused, and the defendant began hitting the windows around the house and screaming the complaining witness's name. The complaining witness called 911 and went inside a different bedroom.
Like something out of a movie, like a horror movie.
A second witness, the uncle, led the defendant inside the residence because he was unaware of the break-in. The defendant went straight into his room. The officers tried to make contact with the defendant but were unsuccessful. The defendant was identified by a photo and date birth.
So tell me what happened now in the new, please, in the evading.
Yes, Your Honor. On April 2nd, 2025, a law enforcement officer was dispatched to a vehicle in reference to a discharge of a firearm. While searching the neighborhood, the law enforcement officer made contact with the witness who advised that the driver was a Hispanic male with light bushy hair, and the vehicle had a plastic wrapping around the rear window with one laminated tail lamp. The law enforcement officer continued to search the neighborhood and observed a vehicle that matched the description. The law enforcement officer made a U-turn and pursued the vehicle. As the law enforcement officer approached the vehicle, the driver accelerated speed and disregarded a stop sign.
Tell me they found a gun.
The law enforcement officer do not have that vehicle. The law enforcement officer initiated lights and sirens to stop the vehicle, failed to stop, failed to stop, accelerated speed, and disregarded multiple stop signs for approximately 3 minutes, and around 1.5 miles of roadway, reaching a speed of 62 miles an hour. There were multiple areas the defendant could safely stop, and the defendant stated he evaded because he believes he had an open warrant for family violence. I
Is this
believe
in warrant status? Do we know?
this wasn't warrant status, Your Honor. Let me.
It was a 2B, Your Honor. It wasn't, it was a 2B that was filed. It wasn't so I think they're speaking about the terroristic threat family violence in our case. And it was filed as a 2B. He never was arrested on it or didn't have a court record.
You know, Mr. Arroyo, you need to think that in this world, when you go to jail, you now know you have no one that's going to pony up money to get you out. So when you go to jail on charges, you are stuck unless someone's right. Since January, you've had an unlawful restraint, an assault of a family member. Now you have these 2 open cases. Why would we continue to give PR bonds?
If I may, Your Honor, the 2 previous cases, the unlawful restraint and the assault family member, the file date was back in 2023. He had it set for a jury trial and it was dismissed. He never bond forfeited.
You represent him on those cases?
I did not. I was just appointed today to him. Okay. But I'm just looking at the procedural posture of the case. He does not appear to be a flight risk of any kind. He took those cases and.
Well, I mean, he's evading capture now with the police, you know? Something's going on with you, man. I don't know what's going on, but who do you have in your life? Who's around to give our mom, dad? Who do you have? You got a son? What? You're a baby yourself. How the hell? I mean, do you live with mom?
I live with my mom.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Who do you live with?
Yeah, I live with my mom.
Do you actually live there or are you out on the street all the time?
No, I actually do live there. I stay there and I take my sisters to school in the morning and pick them up after school. And I work and I take care of my son every day that I can when I'm not working. And he sleeps over if I'm not going to work the next day. That's all I'm really doing. But
In the
I
last
just-
couple months, you've had 4 charges. What do we need to do to ensure you don't pick up a 5th?
He is now living with his mother. It sounds like before he was staying with the complainant. So the change in location is going to be helpful, certainly. He now has employment. He works at Cosmic Air.
Let's do this. If you can, is mom here? No.
I don't believe
No,
so.
sir.
So let's do this. If you can verify that she will actually take him, because I'm not giving you a PR bond or even a bond reduction for you to just go out on the street.
So,
If I let you out, I'm putting you under very strict rules. No dope, no alcohol, and I'm going to test you like crazy. Does he have a license? You're not allowed to drive. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care about your little brother having to go somewhere or your son. If you don't have a license and you don't have car insurance, then no driving. That is a bond condition. I'm going to have you sign an affidavit promising you. If I find that you do, I can have a contempt hearing an additional 6 months.
Sure.
But I'm not letting you out unless you have a stable place to go to, because I don't want you out on the street. Nothing good. And I'm giving you a curfew as well. You understand?
sir,
I'm going to put a monitor so I know where you are at all times, and then we'll talk. But first things first, not to the street. If you can verify that he's got a place, then let's talk, and I'm happy to do something.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Okay. Joe,
Your present.
that way. Guys.
thank you,
come on.
Judge.
Let's roll nerds. Oh yeah, let's roll nerds. Yeah, let's roll nerds.